Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing great. Welcome back to the series where I share with you guys the different things that I've learned throughout my 8 years of training to make your fitness journey slightly easier and slightly smoother. Today's episode will be pretty short because I can almost break it down in 3 parts. The first part will be about the thought process that goes into dealing with busyness of life and obviously not making excuses for yourself. So let's start with that. The main issue people encounter is believing that life can get too busy and that the excuses they make for themselves are valid. Now, I'm not trying to come for anybody. I'm not saying that there are some excuses that are not valid, because some are. But from personal experience, I can almost guarantee you that most of the excuses that you make for yourself when it comes to skipping out a session are not valid. We think that we're too busy. We think that if we can go into the gym at a specific time, that it's all lost, it's all done. And I'm here to tell you guys that that is not true. So let's start with busyness. Even if your day might not be going as planned, you can always make a plan. You can always adapt and change things to accommodate and to still prioritize what you have to do, even if it's not in the same way that you initially planned to do it. So maybe you're a morning person, or maybe you'd rather get your sessions in the evening. There may be days where you're not able to do things exactly the way you want to, but is that truly an excuse to not do anything at all? I personally don't think so. There's many different ways, there's many different places you can train. You don't have to be in the gym. You can train at home. Maybe if you're a parent, you have kids. I'm not a parent. I don't know what that's like. But you see a lot of parents involve their kids in their training time. So rather than telling yourself that I can't train because I have to take care of all these kids, maybe you can train with them. Maybe you can go on a walk with your kids. Now, obviously, I see a lot of parents doing that, but I also see a lot not doing that and using that as an excuse to not take care of themselves. So I mostly want to speak to those profiles, parents, busy people. So again, if this is not you, I'm not coming for you. Okay? But obviously, there's ways you can spend time with your kids and train, because you're almost killing two birds with one stone. For one, you get to train, you get to be there with your kids, and at the same time, you're allowing them to build a healthy lifestyle for themselves. Being healthy doesn't start when you reach a certain age, it starts when you're young. Your kids take inspiration from what they see you do. So rather than believing that you have to separate your training time and the time that you usually have to take care of your kids, sometimes you can just combine it. Take them with you when you train. Maybe try and modify it in a way that they can also participate. They can also run around. They can also have fun. And long term, you obviously have the benefit of being able to train, spending time with your kids, but also educating them and getting them accustomed to a healthy life. For people that are just busy, it's obviously not ideal to not be able to train where you usually train, how you usually train. But again, is that really an excuse not to train? I don't think so. You can always switch it up. Just because you're not able to get full access to your gym, or maybe the gym is too packed, or you just don't have time to go, maybe you can just stay at home and get a home session in. We always look at what we don't have access to in order to do what we have to do, rather than looking at what we already have that can allow us to either do the same thing, or even if it's less, at least you're still able to do it. I'm going to stop the video here. I'll dive into the other parts in the other videos, but I hope you guys learned something from this. Catch you guys next time.